Chief Obinna Okri stood at the edge of his newly acquired 500 acres of wilderness near Ogun State, feeling like a king surveying his kingdom. At 38 years old, he'd built an empire from nothing. Okri Global Enterprises, spanning real estate and entertainment, worth over 2 billion naira. But this land, this wild, beautiful expanse of forests and clearings, represented something more than business. It was his dream. Africa's largest wildlife zoo and safari park, he said aloud, grinning at his best friend and business partner, Chima Delik, who stood beside him reviewing maps. "You're really doing this," Chima said, shaking his head with a smile. "From Enugu poverty to building the biggest zoo in Africa. Your mother must be so proud." At the mention of his mother, Obinna's smile softened. Mama Nkem Okri, 65 years old, had raised him alone after his father died when Obinna was 18. She worked 3 jobs, market seller, seamstress, nighttime cleaner, to put him through university. Every success he'd achieved was built on her sacrifices. "Mama doesn't know about this yet," Obinna admitted. "I wanted to surprise her when it's more developed, show her the whole vision." He gestured across the landscape. "Safari drives, conservation programs, education centers. This will be my legacy. Chima, not just buildings and businesses, but something that matters." They'd been walking the property for 2 hours, mapping boundaries, identify where structures would go. The land was magnificent but wild. Dense forests, open grasslands, and notably, a large natural lake that dominated the western section. The Snake Lake. Their local guide had called it that morning before leaving them to survey alone. Very dangerous. Many snakes, venomous water snakes. Several people have died there over the years. You'll need to have it professionally cleared before any construction. Obinna had made a note. Priority 1, Snake Lake remediation. He couldn't build a family-friendly zoo with a death trap on the property. Now, as the afternoon sun beat down, he and Chima decided to split up to cover more ground. "I'll check the eastern boundary," Chima said, consulting his GPS. "You take the western section near the lake. We'll meet back at the car in an hour." "Sounds good." Obinna headed west, his mind already designing the main entrance, the safari route, the conservation center he'd dedicate to his mother. As he walked through a clearing and rounded a natural bend in the land, movement caught his eye. 2 figures stood by the Snake Lake in the distance, maybe 50 meters away. He squinted against the sun, trying to identify them. Then recognition hit him like a physical blow. His wife, Adiz. That was definitely her, tall, elegant, wearing one of her expensive dresses, even out here in the wilderness. And beside her, smaller, Frylier, his mother. Obinna stopped walking, confusion flooding through him. What were they doing here? How did they even know about this place? He'd told Adiz he was flying to Abuja for business meetings today. He'd specifically not mentioned the zoo land inspection because he wanted it to be a surprise for later. But confusion gave way to delight. What a coincidence. Maybe Adiz had somehow found out and brought Mama to surprise him. A smile spread across his face. He started walking toward them again, picking up his pace, excitement building. He couldn't wait to see their faces when he told them, "This is mine, all of this. I'm building Africa's largest zoo right here." He was about 30 meters away now, close enough to call out. He opened his mouth to shout their names. And then it happened. Adiz and Mama were standing right at the edge of the snake-infested lake. His mother looked weak, unsteady. She'd been mysteriously ill for the past 6 months, growing thinner and frilier despite doctor visits. Adiz was holding Mama's arm, ostensibly supporting her. Obinna was about to call out, "Adiz, Mama, what are you doing here?" When suddenly, in one swift, violent motion, Adiz pushed his elderly mother into the water. Time stopped. Obinna's mind couldn't process what his eyes had just seen. His wife, pushing his mother into the Snake Lake. Mama Nkem hit the water with a splash. She surfaced, gasping, arms flailing. Her screams pierced the air, terrified, desperate. And Adiz just stood there, watching, not calling for help, not jumping in, just watching. Then Obinna saw them. The snakes, dark shapes moving through the water toward his mother. 3, 4, more. His paralysis shattered. "Mama!" he screamed, already running. Adi's head whipped around at his voice. Even from this distance, he saw her face, shock, panic, horror. She looked at him for one frozen second, then turned and ran, sprinting away from the lake into the bush. But Obinna had no time to think about her. His mother was drowning. The snakes were closing in. He reached the lake's edge and dug without hesitation, his expensive business clothes instantly soaked, his phone and wallet forgotten. The water was murky, warm, disgusting. He swam powerfully toward his mother. "Mama, I'm coming. Hold on." She was going under, too weak to keep herself afloat. He reached her just as her head submerged. His hand found her arm, and he yanked her up. She coughed, sputtered, gasped for air. A snake brushed against his leg. Then another. He felt the sharp pain of fangs sinking into his left arm, then his right calf. The pain was intense, but adrenaline overrode it. He kicked hard, one arm wrapped around his mother's chest, pulling her toward shore. The snakes scattered from his violent thrashing. 15 meters. 10. 5. His feet found the muddy bottom. He half-carried, half-dragged his mother out of the water and onto the bank. She was unconscious, water streaming from her mouth and nose. Her lips were blue. No, 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 no. Obinna tilted her head back, checked her airway, and started CPR. Compressions. Rescue breaths. Compressions. "Obinna!" Chima's voice. His friend came crashing through the bush, having heard the screams. "What the... Oh, God!" He dropped to his knees beside them. "She's not breathing." Obinna gasped between compressions. "My mother, she was in the water, the snakes." "I called emergency services." Chima pulled out his phone again. "But we're an hour from the nearest hospital." 30 compressions. 2 breaths. 30 compressions. Mom and Kem suddenly coughed, water spewing from her mouth. She gasped, her chest heaving. Her eyes fluttered open, unfocused, confused. "Mama..." Obinna's voice broke. "Mama, can you hear me?" She coughed again, more water coming up. "Oh, Obinna?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'm here, Mama. You're safe. You're safe." Chima was examining her frantically. "I don't see any snake bites on her." "Obinna!" He noticed the blood. "You're bitten. Your arm. Your leg." Obinna looked down. 2 bite marks on his left forearm, bleeding. 1 on his right calf. The pain was starting to register now that the adrenaline was fading. "The first aid kit," he gasped. "In the car. There's anti-venom. We brought it specifically because of the snake danger." "I'll get it." Chima sprinted toward where they parked. Obinna cradled his mother, who was conscious but barely. She was shivering despite the heat, her skin cold and clammy. Her eyes tried to focus on his face. Adiz, she whispered. "She brought me here, said she wanted to show me something beautiful, to talk. I felt so weak. Then water, cold, snakes." Her memory was foggy, confused. Had she seen Adiz push her? Or did she think she fell? Chima returned with the first aid kit. They found the anti-venom doses, and Obinna injected himself immediately. Protocol for venomous snake bites was treatment within the first hour. The bites were swelling painful, but not immediately life-threatening if treated fast. As the medicine worked through his system, Obinna's mind finally caught up to what had happened. His wife had pushed his mother into a snake-infested lake. He'd seen it, clear as day, from 30 meters away. There was no mistaking what he'd witnessed. Adiz had tried to murder his mother, and she'd run away the moment she saw him, which meant she knew someone had seen her. Or did she know it was him specifically? Obinna's mind raced. Adiz had been far away when she looked back at him, maybe 50 meters by then, and he'd been screaming "Mama" and running toward the water, not toward her. Maybe she'd panicked and run, without clearly seeing who was there. Maybe she thought it was just someone, anyone, witnessing what she'd done. Maybe she didn't know it was him. Chima was checking Mama's pulse, her breathing, keeping her stable. "Obinna, we need to get her to a hospital. She's in shock." Possible hypothermia from the cold water. She needs proper medical care. But Obina's mind was working through something else. A plan forming. Not a public hospital, he said quietly. Chima looked up confused. What? Take her to my sister's house. Ngozi. She's a doctor. She can treat Mama there. Obina, your sister's house isn't equipped. Chima, listen to me. Obina's voice was intense, focused. My wife just tried to kill my mother. I saw her push Mama into this lake. I watched her do it. Chima's face went white. What? Adiz was here, with Mama. I saw them from a distance and was walking over to surprise them, to show them this was my new land. Then Adiz pushed Mama into the water and ran away. Obina's hands were shaking. She tried to murder my mother, Chima. Oh my God. Chima looked down at the elderly woman in their arms. We need to call the police. Not yet. Obina's voice was cold, calculated. Think about it. Adiz ran. She saw someone. But I don't think she saw clearly that it was me. She might not know I was here. I told her I was in Abuja today. So, if we take Mama to a public hospital, there will be records, a police report. Adiz will know Mama survived. But if we keep Mama's survival secret, Obina's eyes were hard. I can go home and watch what Adiz does. Watch what she says. See if she lies about this. Find out why she did this. And gather evidence before I destroy her. Chima stared at his friend. You want to pretend you don't know? I want to know everything before I act. My wife just tried to commit murder. I need to know if this was impulse or planning. I need to know if she's working alone. I need to know what else she's capable of. Obina looked down at his mother, who was drifting in and out of consciousness. Take Mama to Ngozi's house. Tell my sister everything but swear her to secrecy. Tell her to run every medical test. I want to know why Mama has been sick for 6 months. Tell Ngozi to keep Mama there, hidden, safe. Tell no one she's there. Not even Mama herself when she wakes up fully and starts asking questions. Obina, this is the only way to get the truth. Obina's voice was steel. Can you do this for me? Can I trust you? Chima looked at his friend, the man who'd been his brother for 20 years. Then he nodded. Always. I'll take her to Ngozi. What will you do? I'll treat these snake bites properly, make sure the antivenom works, then I'll go home. Obina's smile was cold. I'll go home to my wife and see what lies come out of her mouth. An hour later, Chima's car disappeared down the dirt road, carrying Mom and Kem to safety. Obina sat alone by the snake lake, the lake that had almost killed his mother, the lake that had revealed his wife's true nature. His arm and leg throbbed where the snakes had bitten him, but the anti-venom was working. He'd live. His mother would live. But his marriage, his trust, his life as he knew it, all of that had drowned in this lake, along with his mother. Now he would watch, investigate, learn the truth, and then, when he knew everything, when he had all the evidence, when the trap was perfect, then he would strike. Adiz didn't know it yet, but the moment she pushed his mother into this water, she'd sign her own fate. Obina stood, took one last look at the snake lake, and headed toward his car. Time to go home and watch his wife perform innocence. Time to see exactly how evil she truly was. He saw everything. His wife pushed his mother into a snake-infested lake, but she doesn't know he was there. Now he's going to pretend he doesn't know while he uncovers the truth. What will his wife say when he gets home? What lies will she tell? Don't miss next chapter where the billionaire watches his wife's performance and discovers secrets that will shock you. Smash that like button. Subscribe to AfricanTales by Zion. Comment, what would you do if you saw this? Turn on notifications because this story is about to get dark. Obina arrived at his Banana Island mansion at 7 p.m., 3 hours after the Snake Lake incident. He'd spent those hours getting properly treated at a private clinic Chima recommended. One that wouldn't ask too many questions or create records that might alert Adiz. The snake bites were bandaged under his long-sleeved shirt and pants. The pain was manageable with medication. Now came the hard part, acting normal. He parked his car and took a deep breath before entering his home. The mansion was lit up warm and welcoming, a facade of domestic bliss that now felt like a lie. "Obinna, you're home." Adi's voice called from the living room. He found her there, looking stunning in a blue dress, her makeup perfect, her smile bright. She rushed him and kissed him warmly on the lips, the kiss of a loving wife greeting her husband. Obinna forced himself not to flinch. This woman had tried to murder his mother just hours ago, and now she was kissing him. "Darling, I thought you were in Abuja until tomorrow?" Her eyes showed nothing but genuine surprise and happiness. "The meeting ended early," he said, keeping his voice casual despite his heart pounding. "Decided to surprise you. Where's Mama? She's usually here for dinner." It was the question he'd planned, the question that would reveal everything. Adi's face changed, just for a microsecond. A flash of something. Panic? Fear? Calculation? Then it was gone, replaced by concern so convincing he'd have believed it if he didn't know better. "Obinna, I don't know. I've been so worried." She grabbed his arm. "Mama said this morning she was going to the market around noon. She never came back. I've been calling her phone, but it's switched off. I was about to call you." The lies flowed from her mouth like honey. Smooth, convincing, practiced. "What?" Obinna let appropriate alarm enter his voice. "How long has she been gone?" "Since noon. 6 hours. I'm terrified something happened to her. You know how she's been sick lately. What if she collapsed somewhere?" "Have you called the police?" "I was waiting for you to get home first. I didn't want to overreact if she just went somewhere and forgot to tell me. But Obinna, I have a bad feeling." She was good. Very good. Her eyes were even tearing up. If he hadn't watched her push his mother into a snake lake and run away like a coward, he'd believe every word. "We should call the police," he said. "File a missing persons report." Yes, let's do that right now." Adiz pulled out her phone, all urgency and wifely concern. They spent the next hour with police, filing reports, giving descriptions, providing recent photos. Adiz played her part perfectly. The worried daughter-in-law, fearing the worst, wanting to help in any way possible. "She's been so weak lately," Adiz told the officers, her voice trembling. "Losing weight, getting confused sometimes. I'm so scared she might have wandered off and gotten lost." Obinna watched her perform, studied every micro-expression, every gesture, every tear. She was magnificent in her deception. After the police left, promising to search, Adiz collapsed onto the sofa dramatically. "Oh, God, Obinna, what if something terrible happened to her?" He sat beside her, putting his arm around her shoulders, even though touching her made his skin crawl. "We'll find her. The police are looking. We just have to wait." That night, lying in bed beside the woman who'd tried to kill his mother, Obinna couldn't sleep. Adiz was curled against him, her breathing even and peaceful. How could she sleep so calmly after attempting murder? Around 2 a.m., her phone buzzed on the nightstand. She stirred, reached for it, then slipped out of bed quietly. "Just checking messages," she whispered. "Go back to sleep." But Obinna was already wide awake. Through slitted eyes, he watched her go out onto the balcony, closing the glass door behind her. He'd prepared for this. Earlier, while she was in the shower, he'd placed a voice-activated recorder under the balcony table. 5 minutes later, she came back to bed. Obinna waited until her breathing steadied, then slipped out himself, claiming he needed water. Instead, he retrieved a recorder and went to his study, locking the door. He played back the recording with trembling hands. Adiz's voice, harsh whisper. "Emeka, stop panicking. No one saw my face. Clearly. Yes, I'm sure she's dead. I watched her go under. Those snakes. She was so weak already from the poison. Even if by some miracle she survived the snakes, she'd be dead from exposure or drowning by now. The body? The lake is huge and deep. It might never be found. Stop being paranoid. The plan worked. She's gone. The police? I just filed a missing persons report with my loving husband, playing the worried daughter-in-law perfectly. Yes, Once they call off the search in a few weeks and presume her dead, the will goes into effect. 40% of his wealth comes to me as the wife. No, we wait a few months before we make our next move on him. I told you patience. First a mother, then after an appropriate grieving period, we handle him. I know. I love you too. But we have to be smart. This time next year, we'll have everything, his company, his money, his properties, and that annoying old woman will just be a memory. The recording ended. Obinna sat in his study, hands clenched into fists, tears of rage streaming down his face. It wasn't impulse. It wasn't a moment of madness. It was a plan. A calculated, premeditated murder plot. She'd been poisoning his mother. That's why Mama had been sick for 6 months. Weakness, confusion, weight loss. It wasn't age or illness. It was poison. And there was an Emeka involved. A lover. A co-conspirator. They were planning to kill him too. Our next move on him. His entire marriage was a lie. Adiz had never loved him. She'd married him for money, poisoned his mother, pushed her into a snake lake, and was planning to kill him too. The next morning, Obinna made 2 calls. First, to his sister Ngozi. How is Mama? Physically recovering well. Ngozi said, but Obinna, I ran full blood tests like you asked. Mama has been systematically poisoned with arsenic for months. Small doses, enough to make her sick and weak, but not enough to kill quickly. Someone was slowly killing her. I know who, Obinna said coldly. Keep her safe. Keep her hidden. Tell no one. His second call was to a private investigator named Femi, the best in Lagos. I need you to investigate my wife, Adiz Okiri, formerly Adiz Nwankwo. I need to know everything. Who she's sleeping with, where her money goes, every lie she's ever told, every crime she's committed. And I need you to be invisible. She can't know she's being investigated. How deep do you want to go? All the way to hell if necessary. I want everything. Over the next 2 weeks, as the public search for missing Mama Nkem continued, Obinna played the worried son perfectly. He held press conferences. He offered 5 million naira, reward for information. He had search parties organized. All while Adiz played the supportive wife, comforting him, shedding public tears, all the while believing she'd successfully murdered his mother. And all while Femi's investigation uncovered the truth. Adiz had been having an affair with Emeka Okafor, Obinna's business rival, for 2 years. Hotel receipts, photos, witnesses. She'd been embezzling from Okiri Global Enterprises. Small amount at first, but over 5 years, totaling 50 million naira, funneled through shell companies to Emeka, the arsenic poisoning. Femi traced purchases to a pharmacy where Adiz had befriended a corrupt employee. Security footage confirmed it, and the most damning evidence. A life insurance policy on Obinna himself, taken out by Adiz 3 months ago. 800 million naira payout, with forged signatures. She really had been planning to kill him too. Obinna compiled it all. Every piece of evidence. Every recorded phone call. He'd wired his entire house with hidden cameras and recorders now. Every financial record. Every witness statement. 2 weeks became 3. Then 4. The police officially classified Mama Nkem as missing, presumed deceased. They suggested the family prepare for the likelihood that her body might never be recovered. Adiz suggested they hold a memorial service. For closure, she said, tears in her eyes. To say goodbye. That's a wonderful idea. Obinna agreed, his voice gentle. Let's do it properly. Invite everyone. Family, friends, business associates. Everyone who knew and loved Mama. Adiz smiled. I'll help plan everything. She had no idea what she just agreed to, because Obinna wasn't planning a memorial. He was planning a trap, the biggest exposure of his life. And Adiz Nwankwo Okiri, the woman who'd tried to murder his mother and planned to kill him, was about to walk right into it. She's poisoning. She's embezzling. She has a lover named Emeka. She took out life insurance on him. And she thinks Mama is dead. But the billionaire knows everything, and he's planning the ultimate trap. Don't miss next chapter where he gathers the final evidence and sets the stage for the most devastating exposure, like this video. Subscribe to African Tales by Zion. What would you do if you discovered all this? Comment below. Turn on notifications. 1 month after the Snake Lake incident, Obinna sat in his study reviewing the mountain of evidence Femi had compiled. It was overwhelming, damning, complete, but he wanted more. He wanted to understand every detail of the conspiracy. He wanted to catch them in the act. He wanted irrefutable proof that would destroy them both. So he turned his entire mansion into a surveillance center. Hidden cameras in every room. Voice recorders everywhere. His home security team, people he trusted absolutely, monitored everything 24/7, creating backups of all footage. And what they captured was devastating. 3 weeks after Mama's disappearance, Adiz grew bolder. She started openly discussing the future with Obinna. Once the court declares Mama legally deceased, she said one evening over dinner, "We'll need to update your will. Make sure everything is properly distributed." Of course, Obinna agreed, playing along. "What do you think is fair?" "Well, you know your children from your first marriage are already wealthy, and I'm your wife. I think maybe 60% to me? That's standard in most marriages." Obinna's first wife had died 10 years ago, leaving him with 2 adult children who lived abroad. His current will left him 50%, Charity 20%, Mama 20%, and Adiz 10%. But according to Femi's investigation, Adiz had forged a new will, giving herself 80%. 60% seems reasonable, he said, watching her eyes light up with greed. "Let me talk to my lawyer." She kissed him. "Thank you, darling. I just want to make sure I'm taken care of if anything happens to you. You work so hard, you travel so much. I worry." "I bet you do," Obinna thought, "because you're planning to make something happen to me." The surveillance caught everything. Adiz meeting Emeka at hotels, the Peninsula, the Eco, the 4 Points. The cameras Femi had planted in Emeka's own office showed them discussing the next phase. "The old woman's gone," Emeka said in one recording. "That's step 1 complete. But we can't move on him too quickly. It'll look suspicious." I know, Adiz replied, lounging on his office sofa. "We wait 6 months. Let him grieve. Let the will be settled. Then we plan his accident." "How?" "I'm thinking a carjacking gone wrong. Or maybe food poisoning at a restaurant. Blame the chef. Or even easier, he loves that zoo project. Construction sites are dangerous. Accident happened. They discussed it like they were planning a business deal. Not murder. Clinical. Emotionless. What about the embezzlement?" Emeka asked, "Are we safe there?" "Completely. I've been moving money in amounts small enough not to trigger audits. It's all going through shell companies that lead nowhere. By the time anyone notices, we'll have his fortune and be untouchable. 50 million naira. That's what they'd stolen. Money Obinna had earned through hard work. Money meant for his employees, his projects, his children. Stolen to fund their affair and their murder plots. The surveillance also captured Adiz's private moments. Her phone calls of friends, laughing about how boring Obinna was. How grateful she'd be when he was gone. How she couldn't wait to finally be free and rich. One particularly damning recording caught her talking to her sister. "You married him just for money?" her sister asked, shocked. "Of course. You think I'd marry someone from Enugu poverty for love? Please. He built an empire, yes, but he's so ordinary. Emeka has fire, passion, but no money. So I married the bank and kept the lover. And the mother? Finally dealt with. I was poisoning her slowly, but she was taking too long to die. The Snake Lake was perfect. Quick, looks like an accident. Body probably never found. Adiz, you're terrifying. I'm practical. I want the life I deserve. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it. Whatever it takes. Including double murder. Meanwhile, at Ngozi's house, Mom and Kem was recovering fully. The poison was out of her system. Her memory had returned completely. She remembered everything. Adiz bringing her to the beautiful lake to talk. The push. The cold water. The snakes. Her son's face appearing above her, saving her life. "When can I go home?" she asked Ngozi one day. "When can I see my son?" "Soon, Mama," Ngozi promised. "Very soon. Obinna is handling something first. Something important. That woman tried to kill me. We know, Mama, and she's going to pay for it. Trust your son." Obinna visited his mother often, always in secret, always making sure no one followed him. Each visit strengthened his resolve. "I'm going to destroy her, Mama, for what she did to you, for what she planned to do to me, for every lie, every theft, every moment of betrayal. Do it legally," Mama advised. "Don't become like her. Use the law. Use the truth. Let justice handle it." "I will, Mama. I promise." Back at the mansion, the memorial planning continued. Adiz threw herself into it with enthusiasm that made Obinna sick. "We should have it at the Eco Hotel," she suggested. "Big ballroom. Maybe 200 guests. Really celebrate Mama's life." "Perfect," Obinna agreed. "Let's make it Saturday. Maybe 4 weeks from now. Give people time to arrange travel. I'll handle everything. The flowers, the program, the caterers. You just focus on the eulogy." She wanted a big crowd. Good. The bigger the audience, the better for what Obinna had planned. He coordinated with Barrister Uchenna, his lawyer. "I need this to be airtight. When I expose them, they need to be arrested immediately. No escape, no bail, no mercy." "I've been working with the police commissioner directly," Uchenna assured him. "We have enough evidence to arrest them 10 times over. Attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, 2 counts, embezzlement, fraud, forgery. The prosecutor says they're looking at 25 years minimum each." "Good. I want them to rot in prison for what they did." 3 weeks before the memorial, Emeka visited the mansion. He'd been there before. He and Obinna were supposed to be business associates, after all. Adiz played it cool, greeting him formally, offering refreshments. But the bedroom cameras caught them later that night after Obinna pretended to go to sleep early. Adiz snuck Emeka into a guest room. They thought they were being clever. They had no idea they were being recorded in 4K. "This is risky," Emeka said. "He's asleep. Knocked out. I put sleeping pills in his evening tea." So she was already practicing poisoning him. "Good to know. The memorial is in 3 weeks," she continued. "After that, we can start talking about his accident. I'm thinking 6 months from now, right after the will is fully settled and the money is transferred. And you're sure no one suspects anything about his mother?" "Please." The police closed the case. Body never found. Presumed drowned and eaten by those snakes. No one's even looking anymore. We're in the clear. They made love in the guest room, celebrating their successful murder and planning the next one. Obinna watched the footage later, with cold fury, in his house, in his bed, celebrating his mother's death. 2 weeks before the memorial, Obinna asked Adiz, "Have you invited Emeka Okafor to memorial? He's been asking about Mama." "Oh, yes, I put him on the list. Is that okay?" "Of course. Business associates should be represented." He wanted them both there. Both criminals. Both murderers. Both about to face justice in front of 200 witnesses. 1 week before the memorial. Obinna finalized everything with the police commissioner. "We'll have officers stationed around the hotel," the commissioner said. "Plain clothes. The moment you give the signal, we move in." "The signal will be obvious," Obinna promised. "Everyone in that room will know what they did." "And your mother?" She prepared to testify. "She's ready. She wants to face the woman who tried to kill her." 3 days before the memorial, Adiz suggested they go over the program together. "So you'll speak first," she said, reviewing her notes. "Then maybe Chima can share some memories. Then I thought I'd say a few words about what a wonderful mother-in-law she was. The irony would have been funny if it wasn't so sick." "That sounds perfect," Obinna said. "But I have a surprise planned. A special tribute. A video. Don't ask me about it. I want it to be a surprise." "Oh, how sweet. Mama would have loved that." The night before the memorial, Obinna couldn't sleep. Tomorrow, everything would come out. The lies, the murder attempt, the conspiracy, the affair, all of it. Adiz slept peacefully beside him, probably dreaming of the fortune she thought she'd inherit soon. He looked at her in the darkness. Beautiful, evil, a monster wearing a human face. Tomorrow, everyone would see what he'd seen. Tomorrow, justice would finally be served. He got up and went to his study, reviewing the video presentation one last time. It was devastating, perfectly edited. Every piece of evidence laid out chronologically. Recorded conversations with timestamps, financial records, photos, medical reports, the Snake Lake, everything. At the end, a simple message. Evil can hide behind a beautiful face, but truth always wins. Obina's phone buzzed. A text from his sister. Mama is ready. We'll be there tomorrow. Hidden until you give the signal. Another text from Chima. Brother, I hope you know what you're doing. This is going to explode. That's the point, Obina texted back. One more text. From the police commissioner. We're ready. Justice will be served. Obina looked at his phone's clock. 2:47 a.m. In less than 12 hours, the memorial would begin. In less than 12 hours, his wife would discover that her victim was alive, and her perfect crime had been perfectly documented. Tomorrow, the snake who tried to kill his mother would finally face the trap she'd walked into. Tomorrow, the lies ended. Tomorrow, the truth would destroy everything. Recorded conversations. Hidden cameras everywhere. 50 million naira stolen. Planning to kill him next. And she has no idea he knows. The memorial is tomorrow, and it's not going to honor the dead. It's going to expose the living. Don't miss next chapter. The memorial trap where everything explodes. Smash that like. Subscribe to AfricanTales by Zion. Comment, can you imagine her face when Mama walks in alive? Turn on notifications for the exposure. The Eco Hotel ballroom was magnificent. White flowers everywhere. Professional lighting. A large screen at the front displaying a photo of Mom and Kem, smiling warmly. A photo from before the poisoning, when she was still healthy and strong. 200 guests filled the space. Family members, friends, business associates, society Lagos. Everyone dressed in black. Everyone wearing expressions of sympathy. At the front, Adiz sat beside Obina, playing the grieving daughter-in-law perfectly. She wore an elegant black dress. Minimal makeup to suggest she'd been crying. A small handkerchief in her hand for effect. Scattered throughout the crowd were undercover police officers. Plain clothes. Invisible. Waiting. In a private room behind the stage, Mama and Kem sat with Ngozi, watching a live feed of the ballroom on a laptop. Her heart was pounding. In minutes, she'd faced the woman who'd tried to kill her. You can still back out, Ngozi whispered. We have enough evidence without you. No, Mama said firmly. I want to look her in the eye when she realizes I survived. I want her to see that she failed. The program began. Obina stood at the podium, his voice heavy with emotion. Genuine emotion, but not for the reasons the audience thought. Thank you all for coming to honor my mother, Mom and Kem Okiri. Most of you know she disappeared a month ago. The police presume she's deceased. Her body was never found. He paused, letting that sink in. Adiz dabbed at her eyes with her handkerchief. My mother was everything to me. She raised me alone after my father died, worked 3 jobs to put me through university. Every success I've achieved is because of her sacrifices. Truth, every word. Her disappearance has been devastating. Not knowing what happened to her, where she went, whether she suffered. Adiz reached over and squeezed his hand supportively. The crowd murmured sympathetically. But recently I discovered something. Something that changed everything. Adiz looked up confused. This wasn't the program they'd planned. I discovered that my mother didn't just disappear. She was taken from me, deliberately, by someone in this very room. Gasps, murmurs, confusion rippling through the crowd. Adiz's face showed perfect shock. Obina, what are you saying? He looked directly at her. I'm saying that someone in this room tried to murder my mother. The room erupted. What? Who? What's happening? Obina continued, his voice steady and cold. 1 month ago, I was conducting a site inspection of my new property near Ogun State, the future site of Africa's largest zoo. While walking the land, I saw two people by a lake. As I got closer, I recognized them. My wife, Adiz, and my mother. Adiz's face was draining of color. I was walking toward them to surprise them, to show them my new property. I was about 30 meters away when I watched my wife push my mother into a snake-infested lake. The room exploded. Screams. Shouts. Adiz shot to her feet. That's not true. Obinna, you're having a breakdown. The grief. I jumped in and saved her. Obinna continued, ignoring her. I fought off snakes. I got bitten twice. I pulled my mother out while you ran away like a coward. This is insane. Why would I? I have evidence, Obinna said calmly. He nodded to the technician. The screen behind him changed from Mama's photo to a video. It was Adiz's voice recorded. Emeka, stop panicking. No one saw my face clearly. Yes, I'm sure she's dead. I watched her go under. Those snakes, even if she survived the snakes, she'd be dead from exposure. The recording continued. The crowd heard everything. The murder confession, the celebration, the planning, the conspiracy. Adiz was shaking her head frantically. That's fake. That's edited. Someone is trying to frame me. Then explain this. Obinna said. Medical records appeared on screen. These are my mother's blood tests from the day of the incident. Arsenic poisoning. Systematic. Over 6 months. Someone was slowly killing her. More evidence flashed on screen. Financial records showing embezzlement. Photos of Adiz and Emeka at hotels. Timestamps. Receipts. Everything. Adiz looked around wildly. Her eyes found Emeka in the crowd. He was standing, looking toward the exits. But the undercover officers were already moving, blocking the doors. You've been having an affair with Emeka Okafor for 2 years, Obinna said, pointing at Emeka. You've stolen 50 million naira from my company. You poisoned my mother for months. You pushed her into a snake lake, hoping she'd die. And you were planning to kill me next. He brought up the life insurance policy. 800 million naira. Adiz's forged signature. You married me for money. You never loved me. Our entire marriage was a lie. And when my mother stood in the way of your greed, you tried to murder her. Adiz's performance shattered. Her face twisted with rage. You don't understand. She was always in the way. Always influencing you. Always there. I needed her gone. The crowd gasped. She'd just confessed. And him. She pointed at Emeka. We've been planning this for years. The embezzlement, the offshore accounts, everything. We deserve that money. You think you earned it? You were just lucky. She was spiraling, all control gone. You want to know the truth? Fine. Yes, I pushed the old woman into the lake. Yes, I poisoned her. Yes, I was planning to kill you too. Because I married you for your money, and I was tired of waiting for you to die naturally. The room was silent, except for gasps of horror. Emeka tried to run. The police grabbed him at the door. And the best part? Adiz was laughing now, hysteric. She's dead. I won. The snakes killed her. You can expose me, but she's still dead. Actually, a voice said from the side of the stage, I'm not. Every head turned. Mama and Kem Okri walked onto the stage. Alive, healthy, strong. The crowd erupted. People were screaming. Some were standing. Cameras were flashing everywhere. Adiz stumbled backward, her face going white. No, you're dead. I watched you drown. The snakes. My son saved me, Mama said, her voice carrying through the room. While you ran away, he jumped in and pulled me out. He fought off the snakes. He took me to safety. And he kept me hidden while he gathered evidence of everything you did. You're a ghost. You can't be real. I'm very real. And I'm here to watch you go to prison for trying to murder me. Police officers in uniform flooded into the room now. The commissioner himself approached Adiz. Adiz Nwankwo Okri, you're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, embezzlement, fraud, and forgery. Adiz tried to fight as they handcuffed her. She screamed. She cursed. She tried to lunge at Mom and Cam. You should be dead. I watched you go under. The snakes. You failed, Mama said calmly. Evil always fails. Emeka was also being handcuffed. He at least had the sense to stay quiet, but his face showed complete defeat. As they were dragged out, Adiz screamed one last time. I hate you. I hate all of you. I deserve that money. I deserve it. The doors closed behind them. The ballroom was in chaos. People crying, talking, some applauding. Cameras everywhere capturing everything. Obinna stood at the podium, watching his wife, his attempted murderer, being taken away. Then he looked at his mother, standing strong and alive beside him, and for the first time in a month, he allowed himself to feel relief. It was over. The lies were exposed. Justice was coming. She confessed to everything in front of 200 witnesses. And then Mama walked alive. Did you see her face? The evil woman who thought she killed Mama just saw a ghost. Don't miss the final chapter. The trial, the sentencing, and the ultimate justice. Smash that like. Subscribe to AfricanTales by Zion. Comment, what should her punishment be? Turn on notifications for the conclusion. The trial of Adiz Nwankwo Okiri and Emeka Okafor became the biggest criminal case in Lagos history. Every major news outlet covered it. Social media exploded. The hashtag Snake Lake Murder trended for weeks. The evidence was overwhelming. Video recordings of Adiz confessing to poisoning Mom and Cam. Audio recordings of her celebrating the successful murder. Financial records proving 50 million naira embezzlement. Medical reports confirming systematic arsenic poisoning. Photos documenting the 2-year affair. The forged life insurance policy. And most damning, Adiz's public confession in front of 200 witnesses at the memorial, all of it captured on video. Plus Mama and Cam herself. Alive, ready to testify. Adiz's lawyers, expensive ones hired by her wealthy family, tried every defense possible. Temporary insanity. Denied. The evidence showed years of planning. Coercion by Emeka. Denied. The recordings proved she was a mastermind. Fabricated evidence. Denied. Multiple independent experts verified everything. The trial lasted 3 weeks. The courtroom was packed every single day. On the stand, Adiz tried to play the victim. I was stressed. The pressure of being married to such a successful man. His mother never accepted me. I snapped. Then the prosecutor played the recording of her laughing with Emeka about the murder. The old woman is finally gone. We did it. That destroyed any sympathy. Emeka tried to distance himself. I didn't know she was actually going to do it. The murder talk was just fantasy. I never thought. Then they played his recording. How exactly are you planning to kill him? Discussing Obinna's future accident in detail. That destroyed his defense. Mama and Cam took the stand. Composed. Strong. Devastating. She brought me to that lake under false pretenses. Mama testified. Said she wanted to talk, to show me something beautiful. I trusted her. She was my son's wife. Then she pushed me into the water and walked away. I remember thinking, as I went under, as the snakes came toward me, my son's wife is killing me and he'll never know the truth. There wasn't a dry eye in the courtroom except Adiz. She sat stone-faced, her beauty now looking cold and cruel. Obinna testified about witnessing the push, about saving his mother, about the snake bites, about coming home and watching his wife lie perfectly for weeks. She looked me in the eye and lied, he said. She kissed me. She slept beside me. She planned my mother's memorial, all while thinking she'd successfully committed murder, all while planning to kill me next. The defense tried to discredit him. Isn't it true you have financial motives to frame your wife? I have 2 billion naira, Obinna replied coldly. I don't need her 50 million. I need justice for my mother. The trial included testimony about the embezzlement, the shell companies, the offshore accounts. Every naira traced and documented. After 3 weeks, closing arguments. The prosecutor stood before the jury. Adiz Okri didn't just try to kill her mother-in-law. She systematically poisoned her for 6 months. When that didn't work fast enough, she pushed her into a snake-infested lake and left her to die. She stole 50 million naira. She betrayed her marriage. She planned a second murder. This isn't a crime of passion. This is calculated, premeditated evil. She deserves a maximum sentence under law. The defense tried one last time. My client made terrible mistakes, but everyone deserves mercy. The judge cut them off. The time for mercy was before she pushed a 65-year-old woman into a lake full of venomous snakes. Let the jury decide. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. The verdict came on a Friday afternoon. On the charge of attempted murder of Maman-Kem Okri, how do you find defendant Adiz Nwankwo Okri? Guilty, Your Honor. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder of Chief Obinna Okri? Guilty, Your Honor. On the charges of embezzlement, fraud, and forgery? Guilty on all counts, Your Honor. Adiz's face crumbled. Her family wept. Emeka just stared straight ahead. On the charges against Emeka Okafor? Guilty on all counts, Your Honor. Sentencing was set for the following week. When that day came, the courtroom was even more packed. News cameras lined the halls. The judge, a stern woman in her 60s, looked down at both defendants. Adiz Nwankwo Okri, you married a good man under false pretenses. You stole from him. You poisoned his mother systematically for months. When that didn't kill her fast enough for your greed, you pushed her into a lake infested with venomous snakes and left her to die. You showed no remorse. You celebrated what you thought was a successful murder. You planned to kill your husband next. You have shown this court that you are a danger to society and deserve no mercy. Adiz was shaking now. I hereby sentence you to 25 years in Kirikiri Maximum Security Prison without possibility of parole for 15 years. You will also pay full restitution of 50 million naira plus damages of 100 million naira to the Okri family. Adiz screamed, No, no, I'm only 32. I'll be 57 when I get out. You can't. The gavel slammed. Remove her. Asgard dragged her away. She was screaming, Oh, Binna, please. I'm sorry. I'll change. Please don't let them do this. Obinna sat unmoved. No sympathy. No mercy. Just cold justice. Emeka Okafor, the judge continued. You conspired in all of these crimes. You helped plan a murder. You helped steal 50 million naira. You corrupted a marriage and participated in conspiracy to commit corporate fraud. I sentence you to 20 years in Kirikiri Maximum Security Prison without possibility of parole for 12 years. Emeka accepted his sentence silently, head bowed. As they were both led away, Maman-Kem leaned over to her son. It's over. It's over, Obinna agreed. Outside the courthouse, media swarmed. Chief Okri, how do you feel about the verdict? Justice has been served. My mother is alive. The criminals are going to prison. That's all that matters. Will you continue with the zoo project? Absolutely. In fact, I'm dedicating it to my mother. It will be called the Maman-Kem Wildlife Conservation Park, a testament to survival. What about the Snake Lake? We've cleared it completely. It's now a beautiful lagoon with educational exhibits about water safety and conservation. Where death was intended, life will flourish. Any message for your ex-wife? Obinna looked directly into the camera. Greed destroys everything it touches. Evil can hide behind a beautiful face for a while, but truth always wins. Adiz has 25 years to think about that. 6 months after the trial, life had settled into a new normal. Maman-Kem moved back into the Okri mansion, her health fully restored. Obinna had renovated her entire wing of the house, knew everything, including a state-of-the-art security system that made her feel safe. Too much, Obinna, she protested. Not enough, Mama. I almost lost you. Let me spoil you. The zoo project moved forward rapidly. 18 months after the trial, the Maman-Kem Wildlife Conservation Park opened to the public. It was magnificent. 500 acres of carefully designed habitats. Africa's largest zoo, conservation programs, educational centers, the works. At the center of the park was a lagoon, formerly the Snake Lake. Now it was beautiful, safe, surrounded by walking paths and educational exhibits. A bronze plaque read, "In this place, evil attempted murder and failed. In this place, a son saved his mother's life. In this place, truth conquered lies." May this park stand as a reminder that love is stronger than greed, and life always triumphs over death. Dedicated to Mama Nkem Okri, survivor. On opening day, Mama cut the ribbon. Thousands attended. Media covered it globally. As they walked to the park afterward, Mama and Obinna stood by the lagoon, looking at the clear water. "Sometimes I still dream about the snakes," Mama admitted. "Do you want me to fill in? Make it something else?" "No. Leave it. It reminds me that I survived, that evil tried to kill me and failed." Obinna hugged his mother. "I'm sorry I didn't see what she was sooner. You saw when it mattered. You saved my life, my son. Literally fought snakes for me. What more could a mother ask?" 1 year after the trial, Obinna met someone new, Dr. Amara Obi, a wildlife veterinarian working at the conservation park. She was kind, genuine, intelligent, and she loved Mama from their first meeting. "This one is real," Mama told Obinna after meeting Amara for the 3rd time. "Not like that snake who tried to kill me. This one has a good heart." Obinna laughed. "You're sure? A mother knows. Trust me." 2 years after the trial, Obinna and Amara got engaged. The proposal happened at the lagoon in front of the plaque, with Mama watching and crying happy tears. "You deserve real love," Mama said at the engagement party. "After all that evil, you deserve happiness." 3 years after the trial, a prison warden contacted Obinna. "Your ex-wife has been requesting to see you. For months. She wants to apologize." "No," Obinna said immediately. "She says she's changed, found God, wants forgiveness. She has 22 more years to find God. She tried to murder my mother. I don't need her apology, and I don't want to see her face ever again. Tell her that." The warden delivered the message. Adiz never requested a visit again. The final scene. For years after the Snake Lake incident, the Okri family gathered for Sunday dinner at the mansion. Mama and Cam at the head of the table. Obinna and his new wife Amara. His children from his first marriage, visiting from abroad. Chima and Gozi with their families. Laughter filled the air. Stories were shared. Plans were made. During dessert, Obinna's daughter asked, "Dad, do you ever think about her?" Everyone knew who her meant. "Sometimes," Obinna admitted, "not with anger anymore. Just sadness. Sad that she chose greed over love, chose murder over morality, chose evil over good. She had everything, a husband who loved her, wealth, status, a family, and she threw it all away because she wanted more." "Where is she now?" his son asked. "Kirikiri prison. Cell Block D, 21 more years to serve." Mom and Cam spoke up. "Let's not waste our beautiful evening talking about her. She made her choices. She's facing her consequences. We're here, alive, together, happy. That's what matters." Everyone agreed. The conversation moved on to happier topics. Later, Obinna and Mama stood on the mansion balcony, looking out over Lagos. "You know what the best revenge is?" Mama asked. "What, Mama?" "This. Living well, being happy, loving and being loved. That woman is in a cell. We're here, free, thriving. We won. We won because you survived, Mama. We won because you jumped into a snake lake without hesitation to save me. Some sons would have hesitated, called for help first, worried about their own safety. You just dove in. You're my mother. I would fight 1,000 snakes for you." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Mama said, "You know, when I was in that water, going under, thinking I was going to die, I had one thought. I hope Obinna finds out the truth. And you did. You saw everything. You caught her in her evil. Justice was served because you were in the right place at the right time. Maybe that wasn't coincidence," Obinna said. Maybe God put me there at that exact moment to witness the truth and save you. Maybe, Mama agreed. Or maybe evil is just stupid and always gets caught eventually. They laughed. I love you, Mama. I love you too, my son. Now, go back inside to your wife. She's wonderful. Don't keep her waiting. As Obinna walked back inside to join his family, he thought about everything that had happened. The Snake Lake, the attempted murder, the lies, the investigation, the trap, the trial, the justice. And he realized something. Adiz had lost everything. Her freedom, her reputation, her future, 25 years of her life. But he had gained something more valuable. The absolute certainty that he'd do anything to protect the people he loved. That truth was worth fighting for. That justice, however slow, was worth the wait. And most importantly, that his mother's life was worth more than all the money in the world. The Snake Lake was now a lagoon where children played, and families learned about conservation. The mansion was filled with love and laughter instead of lies and betrayal. The woman who tried to murder his mother was locked in a cell, and the family she tried to destroy was stronger than ever. Justice. Complete. Final. Forever. 25 years. She'll be 57 when she gets out. The Snake Lake is now a beautiful lagoon. Africa's largest zoo is named after Mama, and the billionaire found real love. Meanwhile, the woman who tried to kill for money is rotting in Kirikiri prison. This is what real justice looks like. If this story moved you, smash that like button. Subscribe to African Tales by Zion for more stories where evil gets destroyed and good triumphs. Share this with someone who needs to know. You can't kill what God protects. You can't steal what you didn't earn. And you can't escape the consequences of your evil. Drop a comment. What was your favorite moment? The snake rescue? The memorial trap? Mama walking in alive? Turn on those notifications because we have more powerful stories coming. Remember, the best revenge is living well while your enemies rot in prison. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.